Greetings, Stoutlaws. Before I begin this review, I'd like to thank Vaxee for sending me the mouse. You should bear that in mind for the remainder of the review. I don't think I have to say this, as I've cultivated a mature audience, but no gaming peripheral can ever be a substitute for skill, and the only proven way to develop your talent is obviously to book Stouty coaching. Links below. Vaxee are a young international company founded from former Zowie employees, and their prior experience is immediately evident. Everything about this product screams premium, from the superb build quality of the mouse to the sleek environmentally friendly packaging it arrives in. I'm a big fan of the buttons being cut into the shell of the mouse as opposed to forming a part of it, as it results in a sharp and satisfying click. The switches are Huano mechanical and make a pleasant change from the dull optical switches that I've been trying out lately. Vaxee scroll wheels are a contentious topic. A lot of people find them too rigid, but for someone that plays Mordhau and Shiv, this is ideal, as the scroll wheel receives heavy use from all the overheads and stabbing. When the wheel is too loose, you potentially encounter auto inputs, and you're unlikely to find that here, especially given that an optical encoder is used, which is more long-lasting. The tactility of the wheel for me is extremely satisfying, however anyone nearby might not appreciate the sound. Were I to change anything, I would experiment with a lighter click on the mouse wheel down button. You definitely won't accidentally press it, but it's also difficult to double tap, for example to ping enemies and hunt showdown. The thumb buttons are well tensioned but a little on the thin side. I don't struggle to find them, but I'd prefer them to be a bit fatter. I appreciate the overall postal aesthetic, killer internals deceptively packaged in a body you'd expect to find in an office, with no holes or garish gamer tackiness. All of Vaxee's mice are wired, but they're designed cleverly by tilting the base of the wire up to keep it off the pad, so when combined with a mouse bungee, you're barely noticing it. I was quick to jump on the wireless train in 2016, as I'm a sucker for marketing, and dropped £130 on the Logitech G900, thinking it would be insane for chivalry. Whilst it was definitely a cool novelty, it was also very easy for me to return back to wired when I needed the Rival 500 for Mordhau. I've since switched between wired and wireless frequently, and for me it's not a game changer at all, unlike the jump from 60 to 120 Hz, which is a massive improvement you'd never want to roll back. Wireless mice also come with a few inherent drawbacks. They'll be slightly heavier due to the receiver, you'll have to charge the battery occasionally, there's an imperceptible latency increase, you'd struggle to measure it let alone notice it in game, however it is still present by 0.5 milliseconds or so, and generally you'll be paying more, so wireless for me is by no means essential. When it comes to mouse software, your options range from annoying to infuriating, so Vaxee omitting it entirely deserves recognition. The 3 buttons on the base allows you to set your DPI, polling and debounce times to your liking, stress-free. You can also adjust the lift-off settings by holding down certain button combinations, but by default this is set to the lowest and you probably wouldn't want to change that. As for the shape of the mouse, I probably would have felt more at home on the Vaxee Outset, which appears more catered for palm grip, but I wanted to experiment by opting for the NP-01S. Whilst thin, it doesn't sacrifice any length, so it suits my salad fingers quite nicely. The mouse feels very nimble in hand and I can just about get away by palming it. Where it's smaller in any direction, I think my hand would be too cramped. The typical phrase you'll hear from mouse reviewers is shape is king. I know that to be wrong from personal experience. At one point, my mouse options were between the Cone Pro Air, my favourite shape but with a dodgy scroll wheel, or this gerbil of a mouse, the MM720 with an optical scroll wheel. For comfort, the Cone wins, no contest, but if I'm playing ranked, I'd rely on the gerbil, which isn't going to miss inputs on me 1 in every 20 scrolls. Perhaps it's different for FPS players with their weird alien gripping styles, but for me, quality is king, and in this aspect, Vaxee stands above their peers. The latest marketing buzz is ultra lightweight, wireless, and optical switches that can withstand over 100 million clicks, and whilst I'm sure that's true, it's all completely useless when the mechanical scroll wheel goes kaput within a few months. When it comes to tactility, optical switches can't compete with mechanical, whether we're talking Rocat or Razer, and I've never experienced any double clicking on mechanical buttons which optical switches allegedly fix. I'd much rather see that optical tech get used where it's needed most, in the scroll wheel. Vaxee clearly understands this, and I'm confident that this mouse won't be dying on me anytime soon, although if it does, I'll make sure to post an update on the pinned comment. So I'm happy to say that this is my new main mouse, highly recommended, and I'm now a Vaxee fanboy.